We welcome you whether you're here in person or to use Pope Benedict's comment. If you're seeing us on electronic media, this is famous comment. We welcome you whether you're physically here or spiritually here or looking at us online. We have a wonderful AV system which assists us in projecting ourselves a bit further than our own sanctuary, which is welcome. This world of technology. We are a spiritually and loving organization. We do not judge you based upon your past. Virtually every one of us has come from a different religion. Few of us have grown up in the UU tradition, so we're all seekers. We are here because we've found what we're looking for, which is peace and love and acceptance, which is all too frequently found in many modern religions today. So having made that welcome, it is now time for the announcements for the sake of the fellowship. If you have such an announcement, please come up. The mic is on the side as you're working at this point.
Good morning. Hopefully there will be more announcements to follow because unfortunately I have an unpleasant one to share. We have lost our nursery attendant, Becky. She just wasn't interested anymore, I guess. But we have also now lost Brittany, our English teacher, which puts me right back in the trenches of having to fill those positions. At least I have experience this time. Brittany did give me permission to share though her reasons, and it's completely justified, and I totally understand. You might know if you read about her in her little bio newsletter that one of her children has Down syndrome, and that can often come with unpredictable medical complications. She wasn't here last week because her son had developed some mobility issues, and they didn't know what was wrong, and they took him to the hospital and everything. And in the week, sometime during the week, he has been diagnosed with juvenile arthritis. That is going to mean like round the clock medication and injections and care from both parents. And so she just can't, she needs as much time on the week because she's got a full-time job. So she can't fit this into her life anymore. And I fully understand. So keep her and her family in your thoughts and prayers. And I guess keep me as well as I continue on this search. Thank you.
No happy announcements?
Hey, Bob.
Oh.
You don't know yet.
Good morning, I'm Sam. Just wanted to let the fellowship know that last Monday when the landscape guy came to mow, we talked about the frequency of the mowing. Because he said this is an unusual summer where the grass is growing awful lot. So I've asked him to come and mow every week through the month of August, just because, I mean, he just mowed Monday and you can look at it and see that it's really clean. So there's no increased charge for the mowing. It's still $79 per mow. I'm taking care of half of it, and the church can pay half of it since I requested the increase in mowing, because we were doing every other week. He's doing a good job as far as, I'm here when he mows, so, and then I try to come in over the weekend and get some weed whacking and the limbs picked up and stuff, because he doesn't like mowing over limbs, but he doesn't mind ones under this big or smaller. The bigger ones I just get picked up, just so you know what's going on. I did not, I'm looking at Kim, did not get my report for facilities and grounds done in time. My excuses are I'm lazy and I procrastinate a lot, so. John did present some things to the committee council meetings. What day was that? Thursday, yeah. So there's ongoing things we're looking at and getting done, but I just kind of wanted to keep y'all informed of what's going on. That's it. Thank you.
All right, real quick, I did forget to mention just to the families that are here today, I am going to keep bringing in board games and puzzles evenings, and I'm going to have a Flames kid kind of hang out in the Embers room, so the kids will have something to do during the service, and I'll coordinate with Rumi on that until we can figure something out.
And I think, we all have to, much like with John Price, we have to understand a very gratitude, because taking care of this facility is not a benign process. And we appreciate both his physical and financial help in doing what he does to keep our ground working well. And eventually we'll get to some refurbishment of our facility, which is and the offering for the future. So it is now time for our chalice lighting. Chloe is going to do that for us.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm Mark Bernstein. I bring you greetings from the Unitarian Universalist Church of Delaware County in Media, Pennsylvania, and I'm very happy to be back with you again. Thank you for lighting the chalice. The chalice lighting are the words of Maureen Hilleran. For every time we make a mistake and we decide to start again, we light this chalice. For every time we are lonely and we let someone be our friend, we light this chalice. For every time we are disappointed and we choose to hope, we light this chalice. Are you going to do the chime?
I can do the chime.
Okay, I don't know how to do that.
We have a sequencing. Here. Mark got in here before I could kind of formally announce his kudos, but he's been very active on our behalf and on behalf of the religion in the UUA and also the JPD, and still as an adjunct member of the JPD, which is the Joseph Priestley District, which is the district in which we find ourselves of the several that span the United States. The UUA has divided the country into chunks to be more manageable. We ring the chime as a basic initiation into the more serious or deeper part of our spiritual endeavor for the day. It will remind us to focus ourselves away from the many and all too frequent distractions of our life in society. Also, if you have something that makes noise, a pager or phone, please put it on silent. I'm sure whatever's looking for you will find you.
The opening words are the words of Rebecca A. Edmiston Lamb. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassion is expected. Come into this place, let us worship together. The opening hymn is Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Are we going to do this in a round? Oh, one. Please remain seated.
Okay, you want to just tell people what we're doing? We're gonna sing it all together once while they plays, and then, then you guys are gonna be number one, so you will start singing, and then we will wait until, number three, and we will, when they're singing number three, we're gonna start with number one, and we're gonna sing it 3 times through.
Once together and then 3 rounds.
Yeah, one time together, and then 3 times.
And I'm gonna play it once first. Now we got it.
Wonderers,
great. I think you should consider taking this on the road. The story for all ages this morning is a very simple story of forgiveness. But there's an elegance to the story as well, I believe. The title is The Blue Balloon. Once upon a time in a small village, there lived two best friends named Mia and Ben. They did everything together, climbed trees, chased butterflies, and shared their favorite snacks. But one sunny afternoon, something unexpected happened. Ben had a shiny blue balloon. It was his birthday gift, and he loved it more than anything. It floated gently in the breeze, tied carefully to his wrist. Mia reached out and asked, "Can I hold it just for a minute?" Ben smiled and said, "Okay, but be really careful." Mia held the balloon tight, giggling as it danced in the wind, but then snap! The string slipped through her fingers and the blue balloon floated high into the sky. Ben's smile disappeared. "You let it go," he shouted. "That was my favorite gift." Mia's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry." Ben turned away. "I don't want to talk to you." For the rest of the day, they didn't play. Mia sat alone, feeling awful. She wanted to make it right. The next morning, Mia knocked on Ben's door. She held a homemade card with drawings of balloons and a note that said, "I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to lose your balloon. Can you forgive me? Maybe we can make new memories together." Ben read the card quietly. Then he looked at Mia and saw how sad she was. He remembered all their fun adventures and how much he missed his best friend. Ben took a deep breath and said, "I forgive you." Mia smiled wide. "Really?" He nodded. "Let's go get 2 balloons today, one for each of us." And so they did. They ran down to the village shop, laughing all the way. This time, they tied the strings tight and held onto each other even tighter. Hope you enjoyed that story. Let's sing the children out with hymn number 413, Go Now in Peace.
So now in peace, Lord, rose on, so will you everyone.
Since you're all already in fine voice this morning, I'm going to ask you to help with the reading this morning. It's the responsive reading. The author is Rob Eller Isaacs, and it's called Litany of Atonement. I'm going to read a statement and then ask if you would in unison say, "We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love." For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that we have struck out in anger without just cause, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For the selfishness which sets us apart and alone, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For losing sight of our unity, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For those and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness, we forgive ourselves and each other, we begin again. For your help.
So it's that time in our service, which we have every week, which is our offering. The offering may seem trivial and non-substantial, but it is the treasure that we ask of each of you as a sacrifice of sorts that will help to keep our finances stable, allow us to continue to be stable as a fellowship, and to grow and maintain both the edifice we have and the lands that surround us. If you were here for the first time, we thank you for your presence. That is sufficient. We ask nothing more from you. So we thank you for your contributions given in the spirit of love and support of our fellowship. May it be so.
Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. This famous poem and hymn, which you sung beautifully in a round often, is quite common in Unitarian Universalist congregations. It's attributed to Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, known simply as Rumi, who lived from 1207 to 1273. It's likely that the poem was actually written by the poet Abu Sa'id, who died in 1084, 200 years earlier, but let us not quibble. The poem is written on Rumi's tomb and has been adopted by many as a testament to the power and the grace of invitation and redemption. The poem ends with what is perhaps the most important line. Come, even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times, come yet again, come. It doesn't matter how many times or in what ways you've broken your vow, you have broken your promise, you are invited back. You can start anew. You are forgiven. The door is always open. It's a simple but powerful poem, and it also has significance in our polarized and fractured society, inviting individuals from diverse backgrounds, spiritual beliefs, lifestyle choices to join in a welcoming community where all can belong despite past errors or shortcomings. It is a poem of inclusion and hope and unity. It is quintessentially Unitarian Universalist, addressing all that we profess in our faith. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, you are welcome here. Scholar C.C. Ibrahim Garnat offers a more detailed translation of the poem, which reads, "Come again, please come again, whoever you are, religious, infidel, heretic, or pagan. Even if you promised 100 times and 100 times you broke your promise, this door is not the door of hopelessness and frustration. This door is open for everybody. Come, come as you are." Inherent in the message contained in the poem is the idea of redemption, defined by one source as an act of atoning for guilt a fault, or a mistake. The Bible tells us that everyone is in need of redemption. And in Romans chapter 3, verse 23, I'm sure John knows this by heart, we learn that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. However, most Unitarian Universalists reject the Christian notion of original sin and believe that since we are not sinners, we do not need forgiveness from sin. Instead, redemption for Unitarian Universalists is seeking forgiveness from one another. In many, and it should be in all Unitarian Universalist congregations, the opportunity for redemption and forgiveness is in the establishment of a covenant of right relations. I do not know if you have one. I scoured the website looking for it and I couldn't find it. A covenant is not simply a document we created, it is a way of being. It brings us together and holds us accountable not only for our own behavior, but for the behavior of the community. The focus of a covenant is on the promises one person or group of people make to another person or group of people about how they will support one another and what shared values they will uphold together. Thus, when a covenant is broken or violated, the parties involved must focus on restoring relationship through reconciliation and forgiveness. Whenever we make a promise to another, we must also promise to seek reconciliation with those with whom we had broken our promise, to ask for forgiveness. And for those who may have been harmed in some way, a promise to offer forgiveness to those who have caused them harm. Thus, in every good covenant, there is the final tenet, the statement that you repeated this morning several times in the opening responsive reading. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. Seeking redemption and offering forgiveness. That is the duality of reconciliation. While one attempts to account for their mistake, to seek redemption, the other needs to practice forgiveness in order to begin again in love. And practicing forgiveness for the person who was wronged is not easy. Gretchen Haley writes that forgiveness is an act of vulnerability, both from the one seeking forgiveness and the one offering it, as it reveals the risk of trying to love in an imperfect world. Forgiving another is, I believe, the essence of what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist. It requires letting go of the resentment or anger that was held toward another. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing the harm done to you, but it does mean having the grace to put that harm behind you and move forward with a relationship that heals us and enables us to move forward together. The great cleric and Nobel Prize winner Desmond Tutu wrote this: "Forgiveness does not relieve someone of responsibility for what they have done. Forgiveness does not erase accountability. We are not responsible for what breaks us, but we can be responsible for what puts us back together again." What is easier than forgiveness is holding a grudge. Some of us are very good at that. It's much easier. It doesn't require any action on our part. It doesn't involve taking any risks. Instead, we can take comfort in our grudge making, blaming the other for the broken relationship or perceived harm to us, and absolving ourselves from any responsibility to restore that relationship or rectify the situation. A senior monk and a junior monk were traveling together. At one point, they came to a river with a strong current. As the monks were preparing to cross the river, they saw a very young woman also attempting to cross. the woman asked if they could help her cross to the other side. The two monks glanced at one another because they had taken vows not to touch a woman. Then, without a word, the older monk picked up the woman, carried her across the river, placed her gently on the other side, and continued on his journey. The younger monk couldn't believe what had just happened. After rejoining his companion, he was speechless, and an hour passed without a word between them. 2 more hours passed, then 3. Finally, the younger monk could not contain himself any longer and blurted out, "As monks, we are not permitted to touch a woman. How could you then carry that woman on your shoulders?" The older monk looked at him and replied, "Brother, I set her down on the other side of the river. Why are you still carrying her?" This simple Zen story has a beautiful message about the need to let go. How often do we carry around past hurts, holding on to resentments when the only person we are really hurting is ourselves? We all go through times in life when other people say things or behave in a way that is hurtful toward us. We can choose to ruminate over past actions or events, but it will ultimately weigh us down and sap our energy. It can leave us feeling incomplete. Let me share with you, since we're all such good friends now, a personal story that serves as an example of holding a grudge and lays claim to the fact that I do not always practice what I preach. My older sister, Judy, passed away about 15 years ago. She had a bad heart. It's hard to believe so much time has passed. She left behind 3 boys with whom I was very close as they were growing up. After my sister's funeral, we stayed in contact sparingly. They were living busy lives with growing families, and we were separated geographically. I was here in Philly, and they were living on Long Island, where I was born and raised. Over time, however, our communication waned, and my efforts to engage with them went unheeded. The proverbial straw came when I invited them to attend my older son's wedding in 2011. While I didn't expect them to attend because of the distance, I was shocked that I had never even received a reply from any of them. It's funny how, and tragic, how major rifts in relationships stem from relatively minor matters. I have not spoken with my nephews since. Siddhartha Gautama, more commonly known as the Buddha, wrote this: "The grudge you hold on to is like a hot coal that you intend to throw at someone, only you're the one who gets burned." Seeking redemption for past failures, offering forgiveness for past wrongs, these are the cornerstones of a beloved community. These are the true measures of our willingness to live out our Unitarian Universalist principles and beliefs. During my tenure with the Central East region, I have seen too many congregations that are caravans of despair, where conflict reigns and people fight, where congregants leave not only the congregation, but in some cases leave our faith entirely. Do we have the courage to seek and offer forgiveness in our relationships with one another? Do we have the tenacity to be true to ourselves and not swayed by the opinions of others that may cause harm? If not, we find ourselves torn asunder and lost in our quest for harmony and community. If so, we grow closer to the ideal of that beloved community. Let me end with 2 quotes from Rumi, since that is where we began. Here's the first. "Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. Unitarian Universalists cannot change the world until we first change ourselves. We cannot fix what is wrong with the world if we don't address the issues that are causing us to be broken. And finally, Rumi wrote, "Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder." This is a wise person. Speak with kindness and reason rather than anger and hostility. Seek forgiveness humbly. Practice forgiveness freely. So may it be. The closing hymn is number 347 in your hymnal. Gather the Spirit. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Okay, so I want to make sure we've turned off our rolls of that. Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words. Brief sentences explain. And now, wisdom, the water of the community, by the fire of the community. These should be happy in our hearts and in our ears, until they are to take down again. And I'll welcome Mark back to the dais here, who will give us our closing words.
I want to thank John and Kay for the help, beautiful music today. The closing words are the words of Pat Uribe Lupti. Go out now with hearts and hands and minds renewed to the world that is waiting for you. Go out to that world to bring your gentle touch to those in pain. Go out to feed and house those in need. Go out to speak truth to those with power. Go out with courage to do the work which calls you. Go out now with your passion and faith to change the world.
And please join us for the inevitable coffee and conversation and snacks.
Thank you.